Welcome. What's up, guys? New Saturday. Happy Saturday to everyone. How is everyone doing? Welcome to another live stream. Another market analysis, weekly market analysis. Let's take a look at well, what happened last week and new opportunities for the week ahead. In here, so that's the main point of what we are doing in here. Again, you go around looking at the dollar index, US indices, main FX pairs, gold and the oil, and a little bit of crypto as well. So yeah, basically feel free to share any ideas, any assets that you look for, any questions that you have. Let's analyze it together. Yeah, that's mostly it. This week, for me personally, it was a bit confusing. I kind of ignored, unfortunately, the good demand zone where the euro actually reacted at the lows. I looked at it, but I didn't really give it too much importance. Meanwhile, kind of missed kind of the move to the upside. I didn't really like also the way price actually moved from the lows. But that was something that happened. In a similar case, the dollar index as well. Yeah, it was kind of from a previous level that should have been respected on the way down, and it wasn't. So yeah, that's kind of not really kind of a good level then to expect some reaction. But I still didn't really give him the right importance, unfortunately. In here, I didn't really like this kind of double top that was created in there. I was looking for just maybe a little bit of an extra leg up before maybe moving down, a move to downside. So we'll see if this is just a small retracement and price goes higher, or if there's actually a little bit more of a deep retracement now that we properly kind of took away for this level. So whatever happens in here next week is going to be interesting. But the way price has been behaving, especially yesterday as well with the news, attempt to go higher, it didn't, and kind of actually managed to slightly create a new low. It sounds a bit more bearish, to be honest, and bullish on the euro, especially because price didn't even got as close to the highs as maybe could, which means that maybe there's still actually something in here that price can still react from. At this point, price is only reacting from the zone in the middle. So yeah, that's a little bit of what we have. Maybe this one is already kind of seen also as a little bit of an engulf down. Therefore, maybe a little bit of the reversal pattern that sometimes we look for is happening in here, with this one already being a little bit of the opening. We do have the fake out in here, and maybe again, as you can see, price basically already reacted from the same level in here, which could now not really go down, and maybe somewhere from here eventually could be an opportunity to look for a continuation in here. Bear in mind that maybe there's still a little bit of something fresh in there. So that's yeah, maybe that's what the dollar is doing in here. But yeah, I did ignore it. I didn't really give as much attention. There were a few dollar pairs that I liked it. For example, dollar CAD, dollar franc Swiss. Those were reacting from really good levels on the on the left, levels that we actually been looking. They mentioned the previous weeks. So those were okay, but in particular this dollar index and the euro dollar, yeah, didn't really like it as much. Pound again still reacted from a good level, still within the lows, but yeah, not exactly the best neither. Yeah, so basically that's the dollar at this point. Again, we have been in this bullish momentum. Again, you have the big move to the upside with the CPI. Again, worse than expected, which was basically the biggest catalyst from last week, which actually delayed every single thing in terms of when to expect the first rate cut. As you know, beginning of the year it was actually predicted to be in March. Now forget about it. Then it was predicted to be in May. Now the odds, they don't really look like it. delaying everything for maybe the first rate cut to occur more in June, which is actually the time horizon that the Fed has been looking for. Anytime they have been speaking, anytime they have those press conference during those FOMC days, that's kind of what the Fed Chair Powell is mentioning is more towards the summer, not exactly earlier than that. But again, everything can change quickly. This is where they're mentioning that they are data dependent. It's exactly because of that. Depending on March, in February we're going to still have PCE, so that's one of them. But then in March we're going to still have NFP, CPI, PCE again, and more GDP, whatever. So yeah, until May there's still March and April to come. So yeah, until there maybe something can change. Who knows? That's how unstable or kind of flexible how those odds can vary. And that the indices also to start turning to the downside, which was a good turn. It's exactly a little bit from what we talked about. We talked about how to trade these all-time highs. Okay, what kind of approach you can have to trade all-time highs, and that's basically a little bit of what happened in here. Okay, again, we're looking for accumulation of highs until we have an impulse to the upside, and then we have a break of the level that made actually this impulse upwards, which is basically this low, and after that you can maybe look for a little bit of reversals in here. So that's a little bit of how the way we were kind of even mentioned last week or 2 weeks ago, how to look for all-time highs. Hey Sorav, morning man, or good afternoon. Where are you based, by the way? Happy Saturday. So yes, this is something that happened with this move to downside. We had S&P, we had NASDAQ, and also the Dow. The Dow also kind of it was already showing a little bit more of weakness, to be honest, comparing with the S&P and NASDAQ, just as we described. So all of them created a slightly new high and then move forward throughout the week, recover, and now we are retesting these highs. My ideal, to be honest, what I was looking for on Friday yesterday, I was anticipating a double top. I was actually looking for price to respect still these highs in here, but then I would like to see. So what I wanted to see is kind of a double top being created in here, so it's to track even more sells, which kind of happen even more in here, and eventually to start using this structure as the level that we can actually have a proper fake out and then a proper move down. Okay, so that's actually something that I would love to see. The S&P again, it can maybe just respect this level, it can just literally just drop from here, and yep, that's totally possible. This is a nice reaction. Again, we have those 2-3 levels that we look for. The first one was reacted in here straight away in the morning. The next morning that we had this move, and then the origin in there was still fresh behind, right? So the base was reacted from, the origin was still fresh, so that's kind of where price end up going towards to. This low in here can be seen a bit as an engulf down if you want to, even though kind of respected a little bit of this demand zone, but can be seen as an engulf down with space maybe for price to feel at least how this structure in here. But we may have a new high before maybe that move. That would be my favorite scenario. But yeah, it was a nice reaction to the downside yesterday, and the way price finished slightly even below this previous low, it shows a little bit of bearishness in there. Yeah, this was a good supply level that was left in here. Yep, it was indeed a good level in here, and this is what we have at this point. So starting to have a little bit more of participation from the sales, okay, which again can create a little bit of volatility up and down. So we may stop a little bit this bullish momentum, and we may have a little bit of space at least to feel a little bit more to the downside in here. Again, this 5k mark, this round number kind of displaying it. it looks like it's starting to be an interesting level that price is fighting it. Yeah, so we will see. We will see what's going to happen at this point. It was a really big sell-off with the CPI data. Market didn't really take it that well. PPI didn't help neither yesterday. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if the CPI starts to show stronger than anticipated. The Fed kind of mentioned that even that data slightly bigger than expected, it was still on their forecast, was part of their plan, and kind of to try to calm down the market. But we'll see. We'll see. This last 1%, kind of taking from 3 to 2%, can be the hardest point in here. NASDAQ, the similar scenario. NASDAQ actually left still had left this level slightly behind, still the origin, the kind of the base in there. It reacted in there. Again, it's another kind of engulf down that happened, and yeah, more of the same, with potential this being the range that we are looking eventually to see NASDAQ to fill somewhere in here. Okay, so that's a little bit of what we have. This guy's kind of still left that level behind in here. Yeah, that's totally okay. Yeah, S&P personally, I'll prefer to see the highs still being taken one more time. NASDAQ doesn't really need to, and at this point again, it looks like it's bearish, and looks like that we may continue to move to the downside from here. So we may have all this area to play with next week around this level. Even if you create a new high by any chance, as long as kind of this level in here is not, maybe price doesn't really react from here, I think there's going to be some good continuation of good sell opportunities until price kind of gets closer to this range, and then if it starts going upwards, then we just resume the bullish momentum. If it starts even breaking below this low, then we start talking yeah, about a different story in here. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's just make it more interesting, especially for someone that likes to look for reversals. Yeah, that's maybe something to be more active looking for those trades. Yeah, price is starting to show that weakness that I mentioned that I would like to see before maybe start jumping into shorts. We start noticing that type of behavior in here. So yeah, overall, kind of we still have this upper trend line. The price is still respecting it. S&P actually broke it slightly initially and then retested straight away. So we kind of have this kind of small break below this trend line, the trend line that comes all the way back from the end of October. It is what it is. As you can see, we break below it, then kind of retest it a few times and go higher. But anytime kind of we break it, that's kind of a nice engulf as a confirmation for the future. So yeah, that looks nice in here. Yeah, next week is going to be interesting to see if we do have that continuation momentum to the downside in here. Maybe from this level can be interesting. Now if prices want to go slightly higher, it can work as well. So yeah, that's kind of nice, a bit more trend continuation setups in here to look for. Dow, yeah, it's quite beautiful as well. There were kind of two levels that we were looking for. In particular, this engulf down on the Dow, for me, it's even more clear than the ones on the S&P and NASDAQ. The break of this low, for me, this is kind of a clear engulf to the downside. This is kind of, again, nice trend line. Prices broke it, and in my opinion, they have two levels behind that price could react from. Again, one of them, it was kind of this supply, and then kind of the other one in there. So those two levels, that's where we were looking for the Dow to react from. Sorry. Nice PA in here, again, that accumulation of highs, and then we have the turn and price kind of moving lower. Again, can retest one more time even this level, or can even spike a little bit more to the upside. So those are basically two zones to pay attention to on the Dow, and I think I can see it moving lower from here. I don't really think a new low is necessary. As we mentioned, the Dow was the one that was already accumulating a lot of highs. and showing potential moves down. It had one last spike upwards, and then it basically filled straight away this initial range. It even broke below it, so yeah, I could see it going a bit more to the downside. There's maybe this level in here, that's maybe then the extreme in there. But this for me is kind of a nice engulf to the downside and looking for those shorts in here. So yeah, it's a nice one. And let's see again, indices start to show a little bit of weakness, which can happen again. It has been in the big rally for quite a while, almost 4 months in a row. End of October, November, December, January, February. Yeah, so we could have a little bit of a retracement maybe before jumping again. And then we have DAX, which again start to show that weakness. Made the move down, respected this engulf. It went down. Then in here, same story. So we start having that break, another break to the upside. This was the key level for me that I was looking for, to see if price breaks it, maybe it could go down. If it respects it, would go slightly higher, and then kind of that becomes in previous support resistance, and now this is the zone in here. Okay, and now we finally break it, opening door a bit more to the upside, which starts to look for a potential maybe move down again. And anytime price is moving like this, it creates a lot of compression on the way up. As you can see, basically already took this one, basically screening every single one of those orders, which starts opening slightly the potential move to downside. Attention to do any support resistance level that you can see in here. Those can hold price upwards. So that's a little bit of the levels that we have in here. And there is one in here at the extreme that still looks nice. That price can still come all the way back in here and react from, which is basically around this level in here for a potential short if the DAX wants to go there once again. All right, but we are in this phase where any kind of break upwards kind of has a little bit of retracement. Again, longer time frame. Sorry, if you are definitely bullish, if you want to look for a swing, yeah, maybe wait for one of those deep retracements and try to just keep holding it. But if you are looking just for more intraday setups or kind of to last a couple of days, yeah, there's opportunities to look for both directions, buys and sells in here. So yeah, and this low in reality actually slightly broke below that low, so that's something to bear in mind, because all of a sudden the target can open to go even lower in here. So that's something to bear in mind in here on the DAX. Yeah, I do think that price broke below it. Yeah, it broke in there. Yeah. So Rav, do you look at the indices, or it's just FX? Maybe I asked this question before. Yeah, but the DAX can be interesting. Yeah, so yeah, it's a nice little engulf down in here. This kind of starts opening the door to a further move to the downside in here. Yep, can be interesting. Yeah, can be interesting if prices break maybe below this low. Can be interesting. We did broke below this trend line already, but in general, there's maybe still something in here that price could retest from, yeah, and then maybe go lower after that. So yeah, that's the indices. They start showing some weakness. Last week you mentioned that we were maybe closer to that level. There's maybe a few kind of DAX and maybe NASDAQ, Dow that are already getting closer to there, but S&P and NASDAQ, they were maybe getting closer to that level as well, just waiting for that quick move up and down for that to happen. And it happened this week. Euro index is another one that we have been and that we predicted. After a little bit of a range, it finally moved to the upside. That's still kind of the direction that we're looking for. After price move and created this pattern in here at these lows, it had enough liquidity in here, and they're looking for price actually to get closer First, maybe reacting a little bit from here, but I think eventually aiming a bit more towards these highs can be something to expect, and that goes also more bullish momentum on the euro dollar, which can push dollar index a bit more to the downside as well. Okay, so that's basically a little bit of the level that you are looking for at this point after breaking these highs. Maybe again, there's maybe something in here that is still fresh, but yeah, anticipating the price to continue to move upwards can be something to pay attention to. Price is kind of moving in this compression way as well, so we'll see. Like, it was not exactly a week based on the euro. It was actually much more on the pound. There was basically news every single morning, and they were not that great, which we kind of enter into this technical recession in the UK and also in Japan with two consecutive negative quarters in GDP. So yeah, there was a little bit more volatility. Again, CPI, it was not that great in the UK, neither. So yeah, so it was not really a weak focus on the euro in terms of news, and that's why maybe we had a little bit of this range in here. But yeah, overall, this is the range that we are looking for, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to continue to look for opportunities. And then the N pairs, they are getting really close to the lows. So this was something that we also have been following, and potentially look for opportunities to sell the N pairs, which would mean this one to go upwards. It continues to track this trend line. Initially, we had a little bit of an attempt to go higher in there. It slightly took this high, but it's respected the structure overall. But something that show a little bit of bullishness by breaking this high, kind of breaking slightly above the trend line. And this is something just to continue to follow. I could see price maybe going and faking out this low, and eventually getting closer to this extreme, and we'll see what happens after that in there. Okay, we have euro yen also moving upwards. We have pound yen also moving slightly to the upside as well. Yeah, this can be one of the pairs to look for this week ahead. Looking for trades on the N pairs in particular. If this one turns to the upside, then looking for shorts on the N pairs. There's going to be pressure for the Bank of Japan with this new technical recession, maybe to change their monetary policy once and for all, kind of change the negative interest rate that they're offering. We'll see what may happen in the next months, and if they are going to change something or not. And what kind of impact that's going to have on the end. But so far it's quite weak, and yeah, we'll see. I'm going to be really curious to see how price may react from here, and there's maybe potential opportunities to look for shorts on the N pairs. Yeah, that's definitely something that I will be paying attention this week. Yeah, 100%. All right, so that's basically the indices. Yeah, next week's going to be interesting. Yep. Individual currency pairs. Okay. Individual currency pairs. Euro dollar. Yeah, that's the one that I mentioned that kind of ignored the demand zone. I looked at it, I saw it, maybe even mentioned it last week or something, but I didn't really give it as much importance as I should, and I kind of ignored the reaction from the lows on the euro, and I didn't really like the way kind of price turned in here, even though again we had that double bottom, but I didn't like all these lows in here. I prefer to see something more quick, more sharp, instead of this slow transition between in this case the sellers to the buyers. Yeah, so I kind of ignored it. Didn't really try to even look for longs in here, even though price was indeed reacting from a good level on the left. And all of a sudden, as soon as you start breaking above this level, you are looking for price to get closer to this get closer to this range in here. Yeah, at this point. Yeah, in addition to that, it was not just the double bottom in here, it was also that we had all this structure in here that, yeah, I completely ignored it. Not really sure why, but I didn't really give as much importance as I should have to this level, which was also kind of a good zone in there. It was a good level in general on the euro, and I ignored it. Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, so after that, what do we have, right? So again, the same levels that we are looking for price to eventually to respect. As you can see, we have this line, which price touched it in there. In reality, the best entry, if I was paying attention to this one, the best entry would have been after this move upwards, somewhere in here. Okay, in particular, somewhere in there could have been a good entry. In alignment with these ones, within this demand zone, this could have been definitely the best entry on the euro. We do have kind of that break. We kind of start breaking this level. Yeah, somewhere in here could have been a great execution on the euro. Yeah, 100%. And then price kind of start moving to the upside. Looking left, we have new structure. So again, in alignment in here, it's another level that we anticipate price to go and react from. There you go. Again, it with a lot of touches and whatnot. Again, this was overnight, and then price finally skyrocketed, and it went to the next supply level. For our time frame, it reacted exactly from the opening of that one. So kind of we came all the way down yesterday to respect that demand zone and move to the upside. So that starts making it a bit more bullish in here. The way price is reacting quite nicely from the levels that in theory it should. At this point, it's not really leaving anything behind, but it could go higher. Of course, we still need to break this. We still need to break these highs. That's 100% certainty before kind of price being able to move to the upside. In here. So yeah, that's a little bit of what we have on the euro. Again, similar to dollar index in here. So we'll see. Again, we are still within the supply. Is there something in here at the extreme? Maybe that level is still fresh. For some reason I have that rectangle in there. Maybe it's still fresh. Maybe this will only reacted from the base of it. It will have a little bit more of this level. So yeah, depending on how price may react from here. If there's again chance to look for more shorts, maybe, or price is just ready to actually move higher. So we'll see how price may react from here. Yeah, who knows? What is your take, guys? What do you think about the euro? Yeah, if it breaks above it, I think I can go there. Yeah, I think it could go. It could go there. Yeah. Again, bigger picture. Yeah, taking these lows kind of can react a little bit from here. This is kind of the range that you are still looking for, and in particular, kind of price, in my opinion, already broke into this compression. And eventually want to go closer to these lows. So that's a bit more of a bigger picture scenario on the euro dollar. So eventually could continue to see more bearishness. Question mark is from where, and if price wants to go anywhere higher before making that move in here. So yeah, next week again, it's going to be interesting to see how price may react from here, the same way that going to look at how dollar index may react from the demand zone in here. Then we already know what's next, what we're looking for next in here. Pound, interesting. So it respected again this demand zone, start moving higher. You start showing some bullishness in here. It went to the upside. This may be a kind of again an ending of upwards for price eventually to go there. There was literally a small level in here that was left behind, and price kind of respected it, and it's kind of moving higher. And I would like to see this pound going even more to the upside. Again, we are stuck maybe within this range in here. I would like actually to see pound going way higher in here, but who knows? Who knows? We have this level. This is one of them. Then we have the other one, and then I think finally we can go higher. If you don't respect one of these two levels, then you can go higher. From the lows, we are respecting that level. We respect this one, and we respect this demand zone. So again, there's maybe one last level in here, one more time for price to react from. Yeah, we'll see. That's maybe one of the last opportunities to maybe look for moves in here from the lows before price moving higher. Yeah, I'm not really interested in trading anything in here. To be honest, that's not the one that I'm looking for in here. Yeah, not exactly interested on it. Euro pound, it's a different story. Euro pound start to break finally. We just wanted to see this high being broken again. It respected that low. Again, didn't really need to break the low, even though there's a good level behind that, because we start having enough liquidity in here. Right? We start to create enough liquidity, and this was with the news, with the CPI in the UK. I think it was the CPI. And yeah, fill the range straight away, and they are looking just for maybe price to break the highs to open the door to go potentially go even higher. So again, breaking this level can start showing a bit more bullish momentum. We are kind of creating this range in here, so eventually we can fake out slightly this level into one of these zones, and then eventually push higher again. First breaking this level, and then kind of retesting that level, and then pushing higher, or finally fake out every single thing in here, just create a new low, and then it could go higher in here. So again, starting to show a little bit more of signs of reversal, something that we've been anticipating, kind of looking for quite a while. We may getting closer to that potential good long opportunity in here. Something to follow, something to pay attention to. I don't like this potential setup on the Euro pound in there. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, it kind of made an engulf to the downside one more time. It retested a little bit of this support resistance. This is a small demand zone that's in there. A good reaction. Overall, bigger picture, we may eventually still wants to go slightly lower, but for now, good retracement. Price has been compressing quite a while, and I wouldn't mind at all to see this Aussie dollar to go again to retest these levels, or even go higher than that in here. So that could happen in here. Again, we start creating some liquidity, we start breaking some highs, and that's what happens. In there. The way price moved, again, it was a bit in compression. There's maybe potential of a new attempt to go lower eventually towards something in here before making that last move higher, or eventually take the lows and get maybe closer to this demand zone in there. But it's an interesting one. So price has been moving down. We kind of managed to break this trend line as well at this point, and I think the Aussie is starting to show some bullish momentum in here. It could go higher from where it is. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, and I think that would be interesting to see in here. There's maybe one last attempt to go lower, but then I think we are ready to start pushing more to the upside in here, which is good. Okay, so basically all this momentum down is maybe ready to see a turn in here. Yep, so that's something also to keep an eye on. A little bit of a shift of momentum in here on the Aussie dollar. Euro Aussie has been just in this range again, looking for price to get a bit closer to the extremes. Again, this Euro Aussie reflects a little bit of what happens on the Euro index, just a range, not really much. The Aussie dollar moved because of the dollar. Okay, on the other side we have this Euro Aussie almost not moving, and we have Pound Aussie. Pound Aussie actually was a good one. Okay, but that's a little bit because of the pound. As you can see, any pair related to the pound moved much more than any pair related to the euro. Again, this Euro Pound Aussie is a good example comparing with Euro Aussie that just stayed in a range. So we're starting to look for that move. Okay, fake out of the highs. Good reaction from this fresh level. This highs never reacted from it, and we have the turn. And now we're looking for price to fill this range in here with the potential to maybe go one more time towards there. Maybe looking for another short. There's maybe something here as well that Pound Aussie could react from, and you'll see if you do manage to break below this low or not, opening a bit more the room to the downside in here. Is this high the final destination? Maybe not. Maybe price eventually wants to continue to go higher and challenging this highs or getting a little bit more into there. But for now, this is kind of what we have in here, and it was a good move. Okay, this kind of a typical mid-range move before eventually price gets some momentum again, reacts from something interesting, and starts challenging the highs once again. But at this point, I'm still kind of interested in potential sells from the highs in case price kind of goes there again. So yeah, Pound Aussie, it was kind of a good one to look for. Again, something related to the pound. Yeah, which had plenty of news in there. Euro Aussie yen just continues, and we are finally getting closer and closer to this not all-time highs, but from these highs from the previous years. And again, as I mentioned, I'm looking for price to eventually fake out this level before any kind of short, which again goes in alignment with the yen index, which is moving lower. Aussie kind of going a bit more to the upside. There's maybe some fresh orders in here, but I really want to see this level to be faked out, and price either just takes a little bit this highs and start moving towards straight away, or it's going to just kind of take the highs, maybe respect this previous structure and continue to move higher, and after that, maybe after reacting from something in here, we may have that deep move to the downside. Okay, we have such a strong compression in here, also compression in here in the lower time frame, which eventually can turn, price can move. So as soon as we take these highs, that's something to pay attention to. We can have a quick reaction straight away. We do have this important level of resistance that can easily be the first target after the move upwards. Okay, of course, we're going to have the support resistance level with the highs in here, but if prices want to retrace straight away after taking the highs, this could be one of the levels to pay attention to. And from here, price may just want to continue to go higher. It's going to be always depending on how price may react straight away. If it creates a bit more of momentum and it creates a little bit of a gap, maybe price will just retest these previous highs and go higher. A retracement and just goes higher, or just that typical move, doesn't even touch it, goes down and kind of goes from here afterwards, right? So that can be one of those, or the complete turn in here and kind of price, yeah, with the first target maybe to retest something in here. Looking at close to 100 pips, potential move on the Aussie dollar, Aussie yen, and that's something to bear in mind, or to keep an eye on in here. Again, no idea when it's going to happen. If it's going to be happening already next week, we have been waiting for it for quite a long time, and price is taking his time to get there. So yeah, but finally we may get that opportunity in here. And then bigger picture, eventually to look for something even bigger as a trade can be interesting in there, or even go all the way towards here. So that's going to be quite interesting on the Aussie yen. Yeah, something to keep an eye on. And then we have dollar yen. Again, dollar yen went higher, kind of fake out a little bit this level. Could see it going slightly higher. Again, we have this risk of the double top, which can be always a challenge. Price can always be attracted to go towards there and fake out double top before a move down. Maybe that's what's going to happen. Meanwhile, we finally reached the 150, start moving lower, respected the demand zone in there, and now we are here. Okay, so we are within this range and we need to see what may happen within this range on the dollar yen. I could see it going slightly higher as well, but at this point we have yen index moving lower, which in theory would push dollar yen upwards, but then we have also dollar moving lower, which in this case is pushing dollar down. So it's between a fight of those two currencies, and we'll see which one is going to have more influence on the dollar yen next week. Okay, so we'll see what's going to happen. It's going to be a quiet week in terms of news. We are going to have only, if I'm not mistaken, PMI and service. Services PMI and production. Huh? What's the name of the other one? The bank. No, 1 second. Manufacturing. Jesus, forgot the name. Manufacturing PMI. So that's something that it's going to be on Thursday. Aside from that, it's going to start with bank holiday in the US on Monday. So maybe it's going to be a quiet week. Maybe just continuation from the movement on Friday. So maybe more bullish momentum on the euro, or just a little bit of a range. But yeah, so dollar yen is one to pay attention to. Could go slightly higher. It could maybe just continue to respect this level. I like where it reacted. Actually, I had a little bit of a zone slightly higher than that. I wanted to see this price faking out maybe this structure, and then could go lower. I kind of maybe still like that level in there, but price can literally just maybe resume this move down, react from something in here. It can even go a little bit more to downside, react from the proper demand zone in there. So again, we'll see what's going to happen on dollar yen in here. Euro yen, it just starts to break the highs. Okay, so again, we were never really a big fan of not big fan, but we didn't really see this as a final destination for this bullish momentum. You can see euro yen kind of going slightly higher, and we can maybe gain a bit momentum, but start having this kind of zone 3 type of a move, which means go higher, go lower, go higher, go lower, until maybe gets closer to this extreme. My favorite level is still those highs in there. I kind of still see it as a fresh level. This ice didn't really touch that zone, and you have this level which already kind of reacted from it. Well, eventually I would like to see it going there, but we definitely have some other fresh levels in here that this euro yen can react from. And that's kind of what we'll be looking for. There's a lot of compression on the way up in here, kind of managed to slightly break below the lows. I'll kind of break, create new lows in there. But yeah, the tendency will be to go and take the highs, and we'll see next week what's going to happen. Most likely we're going to have some opportunities to look for sales, paying attention to what the yen index and also the euro index are going to do. Euro index may have a bit more room to the upside, which can take maybe this guy upwards, and the same side, maybe yen index moving lower. And again, this pushes also this one a bit more to the upside until we finally have the turn, and we may have that move lower. Initial target for any sales at this point is somewhere in here that you'll be looking for on this euro yen. So that's something to bear in mind in there, something to look for. May have this level in here, and then we'll see somewhere else as price keeps evolving. And then depends if it respects its lows or it goes higher from here, or if it starts breaking it, then again we start expanding this potential target, and the more potential bearish moves then going to be looking for. Again, these yen pairs, I like the compression. That's going to be definitely something that I'll be paying attention to next week to find potential turns on the yen pairs. I think we may be close to a good level in here. Pound yen also, we finally managed to break these highs in here. Okay, we're looking to see price maybe reacting from within this level. We kind of broken into this level, but this is the low kind of that created all this move to the upside. So that was maybe the low that I wanted properly to see being engulfed to show more bearish moves in here. Otherwise, it may look like it's just a trend continuation at this point in here. We even have this trend line, which price basically also respected it. Yes, there is still fresh levels in here, being one of those basically where price reacted to at the closing, and maybe there's another extreme in there. But yeah, for that return that we kind of are looking for, I would have loved to see this low actually being taken. That opened the door a bit more to the downside in here under test maybe of this structure in here, or maybe somewhere in there. So again, maybe going to have a little bit more of a new high being created. There's maybe a bit more room to the upside. You just took that daily high. I still see it a bit more of as a bullish move until maybe get closer to this level at least. So yeah, something to pay attention to. You might have a little bit of a reaction from here, and then yeah, and then a bigger picture. To be honest, I'm still kind of maybe bullish in here. The way price reacted from these lows after creating, it was quite good, kind of creating this double bottom, which eventually can tend to see price moving even higher from here, and maybe getting challenging towards that level in here. Of course, more reactions to be expected. You're looking at the weekly time frame in here, okay? But yeah, if this was a kind of a 5-minute time frame, this, yes, especially with price respecting this level, this will definitely be something to eventually look for price to break above it. Maybe can go down, can retest this level, go below these lows, and kind of go higher from there. That will be actually kind of an interesting move in the future for price to go below all these lows and react from this previous level. It's basically what Bitcoin did a few weeks ago. It's exactly like that. Created a little bit of a sequence of lows in here. Eventually took some kind of high, went down, respected the previous level of support resistance that was in here, and after that it just resumed to move higher. And now it's at those 50k mark in here. Okay, the typical pattern that you can see happening as a trend continuation. Meanwhile, you may have this big move down, so that's something to bear in mind. Maybe something that we are going to be able to catch in here. So yeah, that's something to look for in there. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to follow. Yeah, so we'll see if we do need to create new highs or not. Again, I would definitely be a bit more bearish if this had been broken to the downside. Now what all we have to do is just to follow the approach to see if price kind of shows any weakness or not, or we just kind of keep respecting it until eventually goes and takes the highs before maybe another attempt to go lower in there. Yeah, that's for the end pairs. So yeah, definitely something I will definitely pay attention to next week on the end pairs. Dollar CAD, yeah, unfortunately price never really got my entry level. I had a little bit of a zone in here, but I was looking for price to get there to look for the short. Dollar CAD reacted from a really good level. This was something that we kind of were looking for a while, to be honest. We created this triple top in here. The level is a fresh level on the basically all time frames. Okay, it was basically a monthly, a weekly, a daily zone as well, 4 hours as well. So it was a good level where dollar CAD reacted from. I just never got the kind of the retest in there, and reach a target, which basically one of the first targets. But let's see if this is not actually a bit more of a move down. So that's something to, yeah, it's another one similar to the $, similar to the pound, similar to the dollar index. We do have this kind of demand zones in here, or in the $, it's a supply that it's either respecting, or if price breaks it and starts opening, which will the door to a much further move, in this case down, $, to be upwards. So that's something to bear in mind. Again, there's maybe this level is still fresh in there, so who knows, maybe price can still have some kind of deep retracement. I would like to see these walls being broken before maybe that deep retracement would occur in here. So you have this level and you have that level at this point on the dollar CAD in here to potentially look for more shorts in here. If you do break above this level by any chance, then yeah, then we start looking for all this compression eventually to be filled with the potential for price to get closer to this zone in here. So yeah, it's as simple as that on the dollar CAD. Yeah, nice turn again, nice up and down in here. We have the turn. Yeah, it's just unfortunately that one. Yeah, Euro CAD. What's going on with Euro CAD? Yeah, Euro CAD continues to kind of ranging in here. Kind of we talked about that that good low that was created last week or something like that. At this point, I don't like anymore all this accumulation of lows or the way price is moving. And I prefer something more clean, something similar to this or to that, instead of so much accumulation of highs and lows in the same level. So again, not really interested in anything again from here. So expecting price eventually to either go up or down to look for something new in here. So yeah, not really much about that. And then pound CAD, actually that was a good one. It was one that I missed. I didn't really pay attention to it, but the level was quite good where price actually reacted in here. It was really good. The supply in there, this size never reacted from it. It's just kind of a good level to look for liquidity when it spiked in there. Overall, okay, this low is reacting from this demand zone. Could see eventually price going a bit more lower. At least some retracement towards here could be expected in there. Yeah, so that was a really nice move. One of our guys at least got it. It was really good. Even got then the second entry in here. So that was a great add-on into the sales. Yeah, so we are within this range at this point on the pound CAD. Again, as I mentioned, comparing with Euro CAD, the pound pairs moved a bit more, or created a bit more volatility of bigger moves. So it was kind of the go-to this week to look for trades, opposite to maybe to the euro pairs in there. Yeah, next week may change that perspective. Yeah, we'll see how price may react from here. At this point, dollar franc Swiss was another one. It reacted relatively from the extreme. It may have missed my level by a pip or so. Yeah, it was a nice one, a nice turn. Reacted relatively from the extreme of this level. And yeah, it retraced to downside, kind of respected the demand zone in here. Again, bigger picture, as I mentioned, I would love to see actually price slightly faking out this level and then have a big move to downside, fake out all this, and maybe from here we could have the final move to the upside. Okay, so again, I would literally work to see this level being faked out or being taken just one more time. Price basically already reacted from the base of this and the base of that, so that's done. And let's see how price may react from this demand zone, and if it is going down like the dollar, or if it goes a little bit more to the upside. But yeah, I'll turn a bit more bullish in a bigger time frame if this level is taken. Unless there's something in here on the no. And this is a really good level on the daily. There's a support resistance. Okay, on the weekly time frame, is actually already an engulf to the upside. It's a nice reaction. Okay. Yeah, weekly move upwards, but to be super clear, to actually break this structure in here to make it more bullish in the bigger picture. Then you could indeed have that deep retracement. Yeah, that would be interesting. Again, it's an interesting one as well. So whatever happens somewhere in here, there's maybe the chance to maybe look for new sales, and if you're looking maybe for some longs and continuation to the upside, maybe somewhere around these lows would be interesting, or maybe somewhere in there as well. Yeah, gold kind of reacted exactly from the levels that we were anticipating. We had this engulf down, so we had this engulf down, and you had a clear target that we're looking for gold to go towards to. And there you go. Price initially kind of moved slightly higher. There was kind of a supply zone in there. I think visible on the 4-hour time frame is quite clear. Kind of this level in here was fresh, and there you go. Price indeed reacted from it, and it filled finally the range that we've been looking for, being bearish basically since these walls were broken, and I wanted to see price filling this range. It happened, and then we started to have this typical reversal PI in here. Okay, again, it's a bit similar to the euro dollar, the way it kind of moved. It was not that quick, even though it's a bit more sharp in here, the moves, and we definitely have the kind of that fake out, this engulf upwards with price reacting perfectly from the demand zone, and since then kind of moving higher, and at this point maybe looking for price to get closer to this range. Yeah, bigger picture, it definitely filled this target, and then even slightly bigger time frame, maybe there's a chance eventually for price to get closer to this level. But for now, it reached a target. There's no engulf. It actually respected it and start moving higher. So that's what we have. Next level is going to be somewhere in here to see what gold actually is going to do around this level in here. So yeah, that's something that we're going to be looking at. Yep, in here. Yeah, these moves with this news is quite interesting. There's always a little bit of some level with a spike in here on the way up. That price will always, it's almost as magnetic. It always targets kind of some spike in here just to fake out that level and then move upwards. Almost regardless if it's actually reacting from something interesting on the left or not. Sometimes, of course, they do align kind of whatever level is here just underneath this low, where this level can just slightly fake out that level and push higher after that. Yeah, what many people are going to maybe be looking at is break as an engulf downwards. Yeah, what's going to happen in here is actually this kind of just a small fake out for price to move to the continue to move to the upside in here. Yeah, this happens quite a lot, and there are news events as well in here. Yeah, and then oil. Yeah, oil it's again, we are looking for oil to break to the upside. It still had that good reaction from there. That's kind of one level that we're looking for. It respected the demand zone, and at this point looking for oil to finally move away and to aim to go towards this $80 mark. Okay, I think we are ready. Yeah, I think oil is ready to finally take these highs and break to the upside from here. Okay, again, of course, we still need to break this high, just an extra confirmation. We kind of fake out slightly this level, but I think we are ready. I like this reaction from here. It respected perfectly kind of the target, this level in here, and I think we are ready to finally move to the upside after spending so much time in here. So yeah, let's see if it's going to be with momentum or just a small reaction, kind of price moves lower. How is going to happen? We'll see. In here, of course, still we're looking for price to finally break one of the highs before completely turning upwards, but I do think that maybe price is ready to do so, and oil may be ready finally to go upwards from here. So we do have that next level straight away that price can easily maybe react from and maybe push a bit more to the downside, being this target kind of one of the levels to look for any shorts that may happen in here. Yeah, but I think oil can be on the move in there. Yeah, that can be interesting. Yeah, it's a quick session today, guys. And any questions, feel free to ask. Anything that you are looking for, yeah, feel free to ask. Because looking at crypto now, crypto I'm starting to be a bit more kind of looking for small bearish moves in the lower time frame before price moving continue to move to the upside. That's something that I'll be looking for. We do have that supply level in there, so can crypto to the market maybe slightly higher. Bitcoin took an important level. Okay, took this highs. May have a little bit of a reaction from here. Otherwise, yeah, if it doesn't really react from these levels and if it breaks above these levels, we are looking eventually for price to fill out this compression, and all of a sudden we are really close to the all-time highs in there. Okay, so if there isn't really a reaction from this 56-55 mark, then price is free to go all the way already to 60s, and yeah, after that is basically all-time highs. That I could see a little bit of a correction in here, so it's starting to have one of those moves, but can literally just spike upwards. But the correction, it will be just literally maybe retest one of these levels, and maybe just moving upwards in here, unless again some of these levels starts to be broken to the downside, and that's a different story in here. Yeah, I think we could go at least retest this previous level support resistance and move upwards. Yeah, one of my favorite levels that was left behind was this 40k mark, and none of these was kind of reacted from it. Yeah, start ranging a little bit. Eventually going to have some kind of fake out as well, and price could push lower. Yeah, so that's something in there. Ethereum, a bit more of the same, kind of mentioned about a potential short opportunity on Ethereum intraday. It will be just to fill this range. Okay, so we had literally this compression, we saw this level fresh, and I really like this move in here. So yeah, it was that reaction from that level, push all the way, close this range, and there we go. That will be kind of a short-term opportunity to look for sales, and price reach target, and that's it. We can go a little bit more to the downside in here. Okay, you have these levels that Ethereum can easily react from and kind of respect before moving to the upside again. Okay, yeah, so we can easily either from here or from there can be an easy move to push slightly higher. And it's reacting from still this supply level. Above this level, most of it is compressed. There's maybe some this level in here that is not that may still be fresh. Yeah, but a lot of this stuff is compressed on the way down, which then kind of maybe looking for price to get closer to this 3000 something. So yeah, let's see if you're going to have a little bit of a correction in here before maybe moving to the upside. A bit more with Solana as well. I was actually looking for yeah, been looking for that level for a sell. This kind of what we have. Fake out is double top, reacted from something here. I was looking slightly higher, but it's okay where it reacted, and we'll see from here. Yeah, we'll see. There's maybe even a chance to maybe retest one more time at that level, but I could see price and Solana in particular going a bit more to the downside from here after reacting from that level. Doesn't really mean that goes all the way to take these lows. We do have this structure first, and then a little bit in here can be interesting as well. But yeah, it's working. This is kind of what we've been mentioning for the last couple of days, the potential of a little bit of a move to the downside on crypto. Again, Solana is the one that stands out the most to me at this point between Ethereum and Bitcoin. Any sells on Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's a bit more conservative, with the possibility of price just retesting the previous level of support resistance and going higher after that. Okay, Solana, I think we could be trading a bit more within this range for a while, which again provides maybe a good short opportunity from here to the downside, which kind of it's working at this point. Just curious to see how price may react from this demand zone that is approaching as we speak in there. So yeah, that's basically it. To be honest, yeah, not really much more to talk about in here. in regards to the market. Again, assets that I'll be looking at the indices, potential more shorts even from the highs, or looking for a new fake out and then potential short, where eventually I want to see this range to be filled, or at least a retest of this low one more time. So that's something that I will be paying attention to in between S&P, NASDAQ and Dow. Dow is a bit more bearish. Because for me, this is a bit more of a clearing goof down, and the Dow has already printed a bit more highs in here that can be enough liquidity for price actually to turn. It's more kind of horizontally comparing with S&P and NASDAQ. It's been more kind of in a diagonal, which again can still maybe create that last fake out in here before the turn. DAX, it's going to be interesting also to see if maybe there's a chance to fill this range in here, either new highs and move, or maybe from where it is right now. And then the yen pairs, in particular with the yen index, something that I'll be definitely paying attention to this week, to see how price may react around this level, and if you do have that opportunity to look for a long. Again, if you go long from here, or if it starts to print some kind of bullish momentum, yeah, again, the retest of this size is definitely one of the targets that we need to pay attention to. But if you do have a clear break to the trend line kind of retest and start actually breaking even this size in here, then you start opening maybe the door to go even higher, and that's when you want to look for maybe those yen pairs, euro yen, pound yen, dollar yen, of course. Look for maybe some shorts. Also Aussie yen, which is getting really close to that not all-time highs, but from the highs from the previous years, which can be quite interesting as well. Yeah, these ones are something to pay attention to. The dollar, of course, we have this demand zone to see if it opens the door to go further down, or if it respects, then we can maybe challenge to go slightly higher. Bigger picture, I could still be bullish, expecting price to go higher, but shorter time frame, you may have a little bit of a move down before moving upwards. I prefer a little bit more the low on the euro dollar comparing with the high on the dollar index, and that's true. But yeah, we'll see on that one how this plays out, and what kind of opportunities are going to surge on the dollar pairs. Again, dollar CAD kind of like those highs. Dollar franc Swiss as well could be interesting to look for. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. In here, okay. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. Again, still working on stuff behind the scenes to start producing more content for you guys. Hopefully I'm going to be ready to add that into my schedule until the end of this month, and starting March, producing all that content. Yeah, also the trading journal that I've been working on, that I'll be sharing with the guys in the group, and yeah, eventually I'm going to make a video also to explain, which I think is quite interesting and unique way of tracking the data of your own trading, because it's a lot focus on the process oriented metrics and not just the normal outcome metrics that people tend to look at in their own trading. Thank you. Have a good one, guys. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.